Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is David Bianco. So today's excursion is going to take us down the path of a cartridge change. Actually, two cartridges in the case of my system. As always, these kind of things are really based on our search for better sound. But this one has a bit of a twist to it. And we're going to cover that next on our Safe and Sound Texas audio excursion. So as I've mentioned before, when it comes to the vinyl setup of a system, the cartridge is a very critical aspect of the sound that we get because it is one of the two true transducers in our system, along with the speakers. So these aspects are the ones that most often can have the biggest impact on the sound signature. How it sounds, is it rich, is it deep, is it bright? These characteristics are present in these various devices like cartridges and speakers, and that's why it's so important that when we make these selections, we find a way to bring those to a way that is compatible with our preferences. It is very difficult to try out these things without actually listening to them, of course. So it takes some research. If you can actually demo these, that's always the best solution. But be that as it may, I've been using an Acetex 410E for some time, and that was brought to me by a good guy named Andrew, who runs a turntable repair and sale product that he does on the web. I'll leave a link to it here for you. I bought my duals through him, and I've also talked to him extensively about other turntable upgrades that he has been working on and making available to the vinyl community. But he brought to my attention the Acetex and the accuracy of it and put it on one of the duals I got from him. And I was really amazed at the quality of the cartridge, especially the separation, stereo separation, seemed to be a little more distinct with this cartridge. Now, as someone who has listened to quad records over time and heard a lot of separation through that process, my ears are probably a little more keen to listening for that. The Acetex definitely brought that home. Now, one of the things the Acetex was known for is they said they truly weren't a moving magnet cartridge, but a tri-induced magnet system. And although we don't know exactly what that entails in terms of the design, we do know that better separation is one of the objectives and solutions that design provided. Now, I don't believe Acetex actually is creating any products any longer. Typically, we find them as new old stock. But very enjoyable cartridge. Having two of them and playing them side by side for shootouts has been wonderful. But I did want to get into a different stylus type beyond the elliptical. And that is where I started to look at Audio Technica, another cartridge brand that I have had over time, which I liked very much in various models. Now, the Microline is a unique design to Audio Technica, which makes it get in the grooves just a bit deeper, not quite as much as the Shibata style stylus, but Microline's kind of between the elliptical and the Shibata. And so I didn't quite want to go as extreme as the Shibata because on some older records sometimes you can hear a little more than you really want to hear. So meaning, if there's any deep groove where you might pick it up more easily with a Shibata. So the Microline was kind of my choice, and the 540 series is what I settled on from a cost-value standpoint. Now, in that research, I also found that there is a product that came out which basically modifies or enhances the base of the cartridge, the body around the cartridge. And to me, that was a very interesting aspect because higher priced cartridges often can have a more rigid body. And so this is a body or mount that is retrofitted to a stock Audio Technica 540 series cartridge. And again, it's not a matter of the stylus here, it's a matter of what it does to the body. Okay? And the reason it does that is for it being a more robust ride and more robust resonance, because there is resonance that happens within the structure of a cartridge with the cantilever and the stylus in that groove. And so the RigB, as it's called, or rigid body, is a precision CNC, that's computerized numerical control, machined piece of heated treated T6 aluminum, machined from a billet, and it's designed and made to securely cradle the generator in its protective canister and support it with exactly the same geometry as the original plastic body design. And they say by making this CNC machined alloy, they've enhanced the stability of the generator, which is a technique normally only used in very high-end moving magnet cartridges. And since any lost movement is recorded information that's unretrieved, the RigB allows more of what was in the groove to be played up the chain. Okay? And so it is really an enhancement to a solid product that already exists. Now, they will retrofit it to a variety of models, the VM95 series, the 540 series, the 740 series as well. So they have a specific process for doing this. You can buy the cartridge already retrofitted. And so what I did is I bought a stock 540ML Audio Technica from lpgear.com, and I bought this RigB through the Facebook group that I'll share with you called RigB exclamation point. You have to be a member of that group to be able to find out how to order this. They are working on a website to make it more broad and robust to order. And so I ordered one of each with the intent to see whether or not there was any difference in sound, and if so, what that difference might be. So I've spent now 6+ weeks with the cartridge change, giving it some time to break in and some time for me to grow on it and listen to a variety of music with it. And then recently I got the ability to take and put analog to digital so that I could then get file recordings of the differences between the two, which I will be sharing with you in the description of this video for you to hear the difference yourself. And the outcome is one where, ironically, the term body, of rigid body, is actually the word I would use to describe the difference in the two. The RigB has more body in sound. The sound is a little richer, it's a little fuller, it's a little more mature, and it's just a little more robust. In other words, the places where maybe the 540ML is a touch bright, it tends to soften that a little bit. In places where the bottom end isn't quite as accentuated, it provides a platform or a richness to that bottom end. Not a boost in an accentuated way to overstate it, but just an overall warmness to the sound, which is very discernible when you compare them. But in and of itself, it stands as a great sounding cartridge, as does the base standard out of the box 540 ml. Again, it's not until you make this comparison and you notice the subtle differences, but at the end, it very much is one that says, yeah, what am I going to decide on keeping and leaving as a default? Is it going to be the standard, or am I going to modify that standard and make it a RigB as well? And for me, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to modify my standard 540 ml with the RigB base, unlike originally where I had them retrofitted and I purchased the cartridge through them with the retrofit. Now I'm going to take the base cartridge that Audio Technica made and I bought through lpgear.com, and I'm going to order one of the bases of the body that I then will, by their instruction, modify my own cartridge. So then I will exactly have two of, again, the exact same cartridge. So for me, it's been an experiment that benefited the sound. It's been something that in fact yielded a positive outcome. Now, again, I'm not saying there's anything problematic about the 540 ml as you get it. But for the relatively small increase in cost, I found that the added value of sound, the added richness and warmth and body, I will say, that you gain in the sound is worth the upgrade to this cartridge. So now that I've made the point that I think this is something that adds value to existing cartridges, this retrofit for the 500 series, as it's called for the RigB, will fit the Audio Technica VM 500, 600, or 700 series, as well as many of the older 440 MLAs and 440 MLBs, AT120Es, and the MLX series. Essentially all those which use the AT top MM generator. And so it is available as a kit to be fitted to your existing cartridge. They even give you some instructions for that, of course, so you probably would want to review that and see if you're comfortable with it. The pricing for these kits is based on color, actually. The standard colors of black and graphite textured black along with textured blue is 59 British pounds. And if it's shipped outside the UK, you add an additional 5 British pounds for the shipping. Additionally, if you want to pay a little more and get a red or a gold RigB, I got the red. It's 79 British pounds, which is 20 additional British pounds for the color. And again, if it's shipped outside of Britain and the UK, it has to go through the shipping cost additionally of 5 British pounds. So those are for the people who already have an Audio Technica cartridge in this series and want to retrofit it. I believe that's what I'm going to do with my stock AT540ML. Additionally, if you want to buy the cartridge with the body already on it, which again I bought one like that, the 540ML with the standard colors is 231 British pounds. The 540 ml with gold or red with the RigB fitted on there is 251 British pounds. Again, that extra 20 British pounds for the color. And then you can even order a VM 760 SLC, which is more of a top of the line model with the standard colored RigB fitted for 565 British pounds. So again, those are again UK tracking and postage is included. Outside of that, for those, it is 10 additional British US pounds for the cartridge with the RigB body on it. So that's basically what it costs. If you're looking at a cartridge in this series, you might want to just buy it direct from them and have it retrofitted. and works very well to do it that way. Again, I'm going to do the retrofitting onto one of my existing ones that I bought stock, and I'll let you know how that goes as well. So this was in fact an interesting experiment. It yielded positive results in my opinion. It's really an interesting way of taking a base product and enhancing it beyond what the manufacturer did in the marketplace, and basically gives you some higher end sound and some value out of these more mid-level prices of, around with the translation to US dollars, these cartridges are in the low $300 range. And you're really, in my opinion, getting quite a notch up in sound compared to the base model. Again, it's a matter of when you compare them, it's pretty obvious, but standalone, you might not notice it as much. But for me, this was in fact something that I think benefited the sound of the system to the point where I believe it's worthy of taking and upgrading the cartridge that I got as a stock one. So as always, thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe by pressing on the bell and the all option there. And of course, a thumbs up or like is always welcome for the algorithm, as are your comments. Any questions, any thoughts? What do you think is going on here as far as why this enhances the sound? And again, in the description of this video, I will provide you a link to some files you can listen to make the comparison. They're not marked per se, they're more blind tested. So let's see if you can pick out which ones you think they are. And we'll tell you in a future video which ones they are after I do my retrofit. So as always, again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time when we take our next Safe and Sound Texas audio excursion. Take care, everybody.